We're live. Can you just drop a here tag on day traders? Yep. Okay, we can get started.
Okay.
So, this is how it's going to go, guys. We'll take special requests, as in if you want us to do TA on any kind of coin that you want, it could be Dodge for all we care. In the meantime, we're also trying to look for coins on Binance that you can buy right now and are looking good from a TA perspective. Again, this is not fundamental analysis. We're not going into any of that. We're not looking for coins that have events that are coming, right? So it's on you to point that out if you have something in mind. Uh, and here's a good example. So I was looking at this recently, and this is not exactly, it's not on Binance yet. Um, and this is CIS starting to have a bit of an uptrend, right? So it's got some news coming sometime in February, from what I recall, in the third week. So this is the kind of thing that we're looking for. If you think there's some news coming for a particular coin, now's the time to tell us. In the meantime, I'll try to find something. So, what do you think we should start with?
Let's see what people want the most.
Yep.
Connect. Okay.
Let's start with that. Not sure if BConnect is on Binance. Oh yeah, it is.
Let's pick something like top 20 trading coins on Binance. Something that actually moves.
Okay. Elf. Elf is apparently moving in an ascending triangle. We'll check that out. So yeah, this is Elf. Also a coin I don't know anything about. What do you think, Ats?
Go to weekly.
There's not much to see on the weekly.
The weekly has a lot.
That's the weekly.
The delay is so big. Let me check myself. Oh, it just came out, huh? Okay.
Yep. On Binance, it just came out.
Okay.
This is the daily though. It looks interesting. Bit of a broadening wedge here.
The daily is still in a downtrend from the pump it had.
We can start plotting. So this was the resistance it just broke. It was a week ago.
You can tell this coin, the rate at which it's selling off is slowing down. That means it's more in an accumulation phase rather than a sell-off phase.
Good point. I should check the volume. This is what it's like right now.
You see how the volume on like last week basically is non-existent?
Yep.
So at this stage, we're just pretty much waiting for any fundamental news to push it forward. More of a accumulation phase. It's gonna slowly die off until it reaches a point where someone wants to stock up on the next big release that they're gonna do. That's when it's
True.
gonna go. And this initial move it had was probably be wave one of the Elliots. We're probably gonna look at about like 40,000 Satoshis if it does go moving. But it is like I think this is the point where if you were to buy it, as long as you know the fundamentals, this is the point you buy.
Yeah, so I mean, the question again is that are the fundamentals good? So I'll leave that for Dolber to tell us. I think he knows the fundamentals fairly well. He's been looking at Binance for a while.
But if you're not trading fundamentals, you will only buy this if it goes
It's
above the
very
1 hour
hard.
cloud. Because you can tell what the 1 hour cloud is basically the biggest resistance provided by this downtrend.
I would
The
buy right
moment it
here.
goes above it, you buy the retrace.
Yep. This zone is a decent buy, but that's a very clear downtrend though. There is no flat cloud yet.
It
I
could
think on
fall all
either
the way
direction.
to like 10,000 where it had the previous support.
Yep. The
But
previous
because this
support
is
is at
so
this
new,
level.
it's really hard to know exactly what it's gonna do.
So yes, Elf was one thing that we could look at. Um, there's a bit of a bearish divergence.
Do you know that theory where start of the coin's bull market is like three touches to a trend line, and when it skyrockets?
Yes, right here.
So this will be like second touch on this trend line. It'll do like one more bounce, touch it once more, and then skyrocket if it follows the typical crypto life cycle.
So let's try to plot a trend line here. This one, no. This could be a trend line right here. Then it had a bit of a parabolic thing going for it until this parabolic trend line broke. Then it fell to this one, and this one broke too. There was no volume to buy it up, which would say that the next trend line is this one. I'm gonna
You
remove
could draw the
this.
trend line all the way from the first dump, like the first candle.
All right, so um, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit for this.
Yeah, this one right here.
This one,
Oh, look at Dolber's chart. He has a good one. So he has the double touch. He'll probably touch it once more.
60-minute chart. So that's a very
1 hour.
local
Yeah.
time frame. Uh, a descending triangle or an ascending triangle. No, it's definitely not an ascending triangle, Albert. Don't see it.
No, this is just a start of a coin's life cycle. You
Yep.
have three pumps into a huge Elliott wave, like a 5 Elliott wave push, and then it comes back all the way down to where it finds the actual value of the coin. It's been happening to like millions of coins.
I think we should just try to find, or maybe you can, look at Ripple, the start of its life cycle, to determine what will happen. It had a double top.
Yeah, let's do Ripple. Ripple's good.
1 second. Oh, okay. So he's referring to this trend line. Um, this one, roughly. And the top being somewhere here, and this is the ascending triangle. So that assumes that it'll find support at this level, Dolbar. And I don't work off assumptions here. I don't think I would buy. I would wait for a bit of a more downside, probably to this support level or a trend line right here. My screen keeps cutting out. Hang on. Let me just. Okay, let's do this. I just have too many charts open. Everything's updating at the same time. Gonna keep these two. Gonna keep this. And how about now? Oh, it changes on the basis of who is talking. I had no idea. Ask, can you say something? Oh yeah.
I mean, I
It,
can. Can I share my screen too? That way you don't have to switch all the time.
yep. Hang on. Let's try this. Try speaking.
Hello.
Yeah, now it works. So this should be showing to you as well, right? You see it? You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it won't switch. Uh,
Professor High-Touch to the rescue.
yep. Bobby's. All right. So yeah, the screen was flicking in and out. Uh, Fixed now. I think we should just look at Ripple for a second here, see what was happening to it when it just started out. I think first exchange to have Ripple was Bittrex. Uh, okay. There's too much noise on the intra channel. Okay, so this is what Ripple looked like. There are two touches to the top here. Could be the start of a trend. Wouldn't qualify it as that though.
I think Ripple is better done against USD value. At least I tried against USD.
The history doesn't go that far back though.
You can do the calculated version.
Okay. We'll have to zoom in a lot for this. Yeah, that's the life cycle so far.
You see, it's 3 pumps into a market consolidation for real value, and then it repeats over and over again.
So this is what we're looking for, right? We're looking for a consolidation phase.
We look for one initial big pump
Yep, there it
into a
is.
consolidation into the next breakout.
This is one support. Then you had a support higher up. So this is what it looks like. And this was back when Ripple was less than, this was when it was less than 1 cent. No, hang on. This was 8 cents actually. So let's go back to that for now. Starting to look like an accumulation phase is starting.
Well, you see, because Alpha's new, this might be just the very first pump it just did. So we're gonna
That's
start looking for the second pump, which is gonna be huge.
This is break of trend line. This is the support level. And start doing this on higher time frames. This is there's no downtrend here that I can see.
Just do normal resistances, so like 16,000 I see, 17,000, 19,000. You would set alerts at those resistances to see if it breaks above it. If it does, you'd likely buy the retrace on it, as long as it's a bullish breakout.
Yep. This is one resistance. This is an old resistance, comes from January, late January. This is the support level right here. Had a candle bounce at this level. So I mean, there could be a bit of a wait on this one. Could take, I mean, assuming this was the up move right here, we've had a bit of an 88% retrace. We've had, this fib is reversed, drew it the other way.
Its market cap is only 300 mil. So if it is actually a good fundamentally, you could see this going 10 times easily.
That's assuming it consolidates for a while though, until something shows up, right? Or will the early sign? I think the early sign of something happening is a change from this volume. When you
The
have
volume
substantial
would be
price
the
coming.
biggest. Yeah. You see how the candle's almost non-existent right now?
Yep, pretty much dead.
So the moment there's a candle as big as the one it had before, you're more likely looking at a breakout or something happening. Maybe a scale in from a whale.
So I think this is the level we're looking for from a buying perspective. I think no, this would be the level of volume you'd be looking for. Obviously, at that level, it will have started pumping. So the idea is to start buying the retrace, and there won't be much of a retrace. At that point, it will be around a 50% retrace instead of a regular 78.6. What else? Yeah, people are getting bored of Bitcoin. It's not doing much. I wholeheartedly agree. Just wish it would do something.
People need to learn to buy the dip.
Well, I
Don't
bought
want
it up.
buying Bitcoin. Oh my god, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah, like purple lines in your chart.
Oh yeah, so these are round off points. Basically, anywhere where some action has happened. Uh, this was a buy zone coming from this area.
This looks like a Bobby chart. I don't like it.
Bobby starts a little cleaner than this though. It doesn't have indicators flying all the way around things. All right, so okay, somebody sees a falling wedge. Final Flash sees a falling wedge on Elf. Let's see. I need to remove those. Let's keep those
The
on.
reason
And yeah,
I don't trade patterns is because you can squish the chart just exactly to make the pattern work. That's why I hate trading patterns. You can almost make any pattern work on a chart.
yeah, that's true. What time frame is this? This is the hourly time frame. Fine, I'm not sure I'm looking at the same thing as you are. I don't see that wick. Is at this level, if I'm not wrong. It's not there. This or this level. This is again. Okay, this is against Ethereum. Final Flash, I'm trading it against Bitcoin right now. Okay, so it's the ETH pair. Fine, that would make sense. All right, so well, it's the same thing nearly. There's some buying support here. There's some support or far more support at this level.
You see that inverse head and shoulders it did?
Yep, right here. But it never hit the target. So this was the target, the all-time high. It never hit it. This, I think it was because of the Bitcoin drop. When was this? This was
That's
on
another thing you
21st.
gotta look at. If the coin is like tied to Bitcoin, that's usually a bad sign. You want a coin that has least amount of influence from Bitcoin.
I don't think this is free from Bitcoin. I think it's Bitcoin following. If anything, the volume tells me it's probably what people did. This was starting February, nothing was happening. This was exactly the 1st of February when volume died off.
You can tell like the peak of its price was when Bitcoin just started recovering, I think. And when Bitcoin started selling off, you can see it started selling off again.
One person has the opinion that this all of this volume here was wash trading. It's possible, assuming that people, I mean, the whale would have to accumulate at this region first then wait through this region, not to dump on everybody because the volume was really low back then.
No, the volume was there because it just came out on Binance.
That's true.
Usually hype from a fundamental point. But the scary thing is the volume now is like almost nothing. Like this thing could consolidate for a month, two, maybe a year. You usually don't want to
Depends
trade
on
coins
news.
that rely on fundamentals too much.
So first we'll try to draw the falling wedge here. This looks like a resistance turn support a little bit. This, however, looks like a falling wedge a little bit. So I wouldn't count on it. At this point, there was this one. There's no point charting patterns here, guys, because the volume portfolio is not adjusting to those. So if I look at the triangles you guys are drawing, right? Hang on. That's the Bitcoin pair. We'll do that later now. We've seen that it's not the one that has the most volume. Arts, can you see something?
What happened?
Never mind. Okay. He's a bit behind on the stream. It's Baja. So F, it's looking like an accumulation pattern. It's also, to me, looking like a descending triangle, which is not a good sign. There is this dynamic resistance right here. Keeps breaking through and falling back to it. So I wouldn't really count on this going anywhere but downwards. The target for this should be pretty low. Right, so if we take this, clone it, put it roughly at the apex. This is the target you're looking for that's barely non-existent. So I wouldn't count on patterns working here anyway. Could just break up if some news was to come out. Yep. Let's move on to something. So ZEC, Z Classic, is that right? Zcash. This is on Binance. Let's look at the Ethereum pair. Yeah, that's Zcash. So yeah, a lot of people have been behind this for a while, especially one person that's been, well, in fairness, it's due a pump. It's not seen much of it recently. What do you think?
Cash. Okay. Why versus Ethereum?
Sorry, what?
Why are you charting versus Ethereum and not Bitcoin?
Because it does not. I'll just check Binance volume. I'm assuming that people trade against Ethereum the most on Binance. I haven't used Binance.
I don't know about that either.
Try this.
You see,
It
like
looks
the pattern,
completely
like
different.
it's completely different. Yeah, it depends what you're trading.
What is this? Hello? Arts, you there? Arts, mic check. All right, so Arts is missing in action. What we'll do is we'll try to chat without him. I'm going to assume that volume spike never happened. All right, so this looks like a trend line to me. Stayed above, broke below, then broke above again. So I can start thinking about a pitchfork using this high and this low. That wouldn't work because, well, here. You back? Arts? All right. Right here is one line of support. There is some resistance. This still looks like a channel to me. So what we'll just do is chart it this way. So this seems to have established a new channel, but again, the top isn't very consistent with that. So that trend line will hold um, if it's tested once, not the second time, because it's already been breached a few times here. It's not a very good support, it's just a trend line. Um, Kali Native, that was some motivation that I keep in my background whenever I'm doing something. I typically tend to make a wallpaper so I can remember it as well as keep it in perspective. Tends to keep me focused. Right. So the first thing to see here is this ascending triangle that it's had versus Bitcoin. It broke above, then retested, and then broke below it, and it's sticking at that region. So I'm going to have to add the Ichimoku cloud. That's the first observation that I made. And go to the 4-hour chart. So this, from a closer perspective, right? And I was telling this to a few people the other day that it looks like a C clamp is about to happen, and it's already begun. So right here, it broke below the conversion line, and then it's about to touch the baseline. The cloud is flat, which indicates that it's sideways momentum for now, and that whichever trend it was coming from has slowed down. This also happened here, so that was around this area or this area somewhere here, that the trend has slowed down significantly. Eventually, it had a small dip. This is different, though. Like it's different from this increase for one reason, though for several reasons. For one reason, there's a lower high, right, on the hourly time frame. It's a very clear lower high right here. Also a bit of a head and shoulders pattern, but I'm going to ignore that for now. I'll come back to it later on the hourly chart. Because ZEC is on BitMEX, you can also futures trade it. So I'm going to turn off the lagging span for a bit. Chart's a bit clearer that way. All right, so a good indication is that the stock RSI is turning up a little bit. Okay, right. Arts's mic is not working. So there's an R2R play on the 2-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, it looks like we already made it through the cloud. We're right at the bottom of it. So expect some more downside from ZEC. And as I speak, it jumps up a little bit. I'm not sure if any news is pending. Let's check. Right. So there are a few ideas that we can explore. And also, I don't discourage looking at ideas on Twitter, especially follow this particular handle on Twitter, right? It gives you every single idea that is on there. You can just filter according to whatever ideas that you like and plug the rest. I have it tuned to Bitcoin and a few other coins. So you can use this. If you need this, I'll just drop the link of this particular handle right in Day Traders. Right. On ZEC, there's not much news. There's just shilling, which is not a bad thing. Good coins with fundamentals tend to have some decent shills. I'm looking at some good reputation people that are sharing the coin, but it's on the 4-hour chart right now. I'm expecting a bit of a C clamp, flat cloud. You know what happens? It falls below the cloud. How far though? So it depends. That depends. It depends on a few things, right? It depends on number one, where are the supports and resistances.
Hitesh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Mic ran out of battery.
I have no idea. You muted me.
I didn't mute you.
Alright. I was telling you the 2-hour cloud is pierced, and the tanking crossing sell signal is happening. So we're
Yep.
most likely gonna see it drop below the 2-hour cloud and do a full retrace of the entire move.
So I'm seeing several moves here. I'm seeing, I'm going to turn this cloud off. I see this support. So I've drawn one support. This one is the second. Right here is the third support. Keep in mind though that this is how much of a difference is that in the price. From the all-time high, this is a 13%, a 15%, a 25% correction. What I was expecting though was a bit more harsh. That was a correction to about 70% in
I
these
just
regions, which
posted a
is
chart. So it will be bullish retrace if we do 50% retrace and when it keeps going up, or we'll do the full 786 retrace, which is more likely actually because the 2-hour looks pretty bad.
But it tends to look bad usually when there's a correction, right? Well, obviously, since the price is going downwards, the volume is going to reduce. It's just a reaction to the price itself.
It did pretty well staying up against Bitcoin. Actually, it went up against Bitcoin when Bitcoin dumped. So that's a good sign.
I think Zcash has a pair on Bittrex that goes back like several years in time. I'm not sure if Zec has been around that long. Right. So 2016, yeah, that's a little more than a year. This has been the downtrend on the daily chart for Zec.
Can you see that inverse head and shoulders?
Right here.
No, like
This
November
one.
to now, look really big.
So I've already marked that one from before. This was the target.
See how it's coming back to retrace the
Already bounced
support?
actually.
But this is against Bitcoin pairing, so I'm not sure how accurate it's gonna be.
It was a head and shoulders everybody was looking at. There's not enough of a volume spike here to cause a decent breakout. I saw this somewhere else though. So what the price tends to do sometimes, if there's a head and shoulders right under the cloud, it comes back to test the Kumo twist. Usually, if there's a bullish Kumo twist and it does not uncross, the price tends to go to the target. Can't remember. I saw this chart the other day. It was a 4-hour chart that was doing the exact same thing. It's been in a downtrend for a while. What was this ETC? I think. There it is. So that's the daily chart on ETC. Kind of the same thing happening. A rejection of the cloud, an inverse head and shoulders under or with. Well, this wasn't within the cloud. It came to test the Kumo twist, or somewhere in that region, and then eventually, it's heading towards target right now. Right. So I think that could be expected of SEC at this point. Somewhat a similar fractal, perhaps.
Yeah, because you can see the RSI strength is coming down. And because the 2 hours bad, it's most likely going to come down lower. It actually makes sense to do a 786 retrace. It will touch the Kumo twist at that point.
Yeah, and then do you think it's going to bounce right out of the cloud, similar to Ethereum Classic?
I don't know fundamentals on Zcash, but if they're good, it should bounce.
All right, so
again,
what?
like charting against Bitcoin is kind of cancer. Because if you chart against the dollar, it looks completely different again.
I don't think Zcash has a dollar pair. It has a Tether pair on Poloniex. Might just have it on Hang on, let's check this. It has it on Finex, Kraken. Yeah, it has it everywhere, most places.
Yeah, if you look at the dollar pair, it tends to drop really quickly. You see those big sell-offs I had before?
These few sell-offs, right? On this one.
No. If you zoom out further, you see like those big wicks.
Yep.
It sells off really quickly.
So small moves up and big moves down. That's it for Zcash for now. I think there's a bit of a symmetric triangle here.
There's a bull flag.
It's a pennant.
Bull flag is a pennant. Doesn't really matter.
Bull flags are channels that are descending downwards. It just had the breakout, by the way. The technical target for this breakout is, let's see. It had a breakout literally 2 hours ago. That's completely against the cloud itself. I think it's, unless the TK crosses again, still gonna go downwards.
Check the 4 hours. You may be trying to break out from the 4-hour cloud.
It already did break out from the 4 hour cloud.
It already tested it. Check the 6 hours.
I don't have a 6 hour cloud. I'm gonna shift you to. Can you share your screen?
Oh. No, I'll just post the chart.
Okay.
For 6 hours. Oh yeah, okay.
So Bobby has a suggestion here. He's asking us to look at the ETC USD pair for an example, because ETC BTC had the same formation as this one, right? So there's a likelihood that the USD formation is also similar. So I'll just look at the ETC USD pair as well. This is the chart Arts just posted. We have 25 viewers. That's nice. So it's within the cloud. That's a good thing. It just had a bullish TK cross. That's a good thing. The cloud is slightly flat right above it, which indicates a breakout might be coming in addition to the symmetric triangle. It makes for a good formation. So what would be a good buy here? A good buy would be at two places. According to the 4-hour cloud. According to the 6-hour cloud, just buy the dip. So where would you buy here? Arts?
The Kijun.
Definitely. So the baseline here is a good buy. And at this level, I would suggest doing the same. They'll probably end up around the same level once the Kijun on the base or the baseline pulls up a little bit. For now, though, I would wait for a retest of the broken resistance. Also, since it's from a wick, I could draw the symmetric triangle like this, so it's technically not broken out yet. This seems like a good trade in progress, guys, right now. Obviously, though, on the BTC chart, it's completely different. What do you think, USD or BTC?
I think Zcash has more USD. It depends. The futures are trading in BTC, so BTC might be more relevant.
Volume is pretty high on this dip.
Yeah, someone bought the dip.
It's been buying ever since. So if there's a high volume breakout, you know what to look for. The target is somewhere in this region, right at the previous resistance level. Where's the resistance? It's here.
560. Yeah.
This is a fairly big resistance, but again, this is a price increase of $100 on a $500 coin. From the apex, that's about 25% increase compared to the US dollar value. It's at pretty big buy-ins here.
Based on its history, it does have pretty good bull runs. quick, but good.
Check this out. This is the daily cloud versus the dollar.
I mean, tried piercing it, failed it. It's probably gonna start consolidating, to be honest. It's not aligning on a daily too well.
There's not much of a buy signal anywhere on the daily chart. There's one circumstance where it could pump. So there's a C clamp here. It could come to retest the cloud. It won't make it as far as the target itself. But again, the cloud, the Kumo is flat and already had a twist. There's a possibility that, but again, how far is the Kumo twist on the daily? It's about 22 days far. So if you bought Zcash right now, you'd be looking at potentially more downside because this is very close to a top. There's one thing that I can see though from the daily chart.
Look at the weekly chart.
Yeah, I'll zoom out
You
to that
can
in a
tell that it's been bouncing off like a trend line this entire run.
this a bit.
And it looks like it may want to do... No, it's not a proper Elliott wave.
If I had some money in Zcash, I would consider. I mean, if you bought the dip somewhere here, you could consider taking profit and buying a little bit lower. It looks like we've had consistent 70% bounces. This is one example of the 70.5% bounce. And where would be the technical target for this? I've been posting this chart for a while though. It's not something new. This was just versus the Bitcoin chart, so it was slightly different. But the first target seems to be about $250, going just by the fibs themselves. There is a lot of support before that level. It had a significant consolidation period here. On the weekly chart, US dollar,
Yeah.
this trend line. Okay.
You see, it's pretty much supported its entire run up. Not once has it failed.
Yep. Ever since this consolidation period here.
So it's either gonna go like on a huge run because the free touches to a trend line, like all other alts, or it's gonna do something different. You can't never tell, but typically free touches to a trend line is a big movement coming.
So we've had one, we've had two. The third one already just happened. The volume doesn't show it yet. So you'd expect a fourth touch and then go, or do you expect some consolidation at this level?
The volume is coming in on the lower time frame, so we may be seeing early buys coming in for the possible run up. But it definitely needs more consolidation on the weekly.
If it reverses here on the 2-hour chart, that's a very clear bearish divergence.
Again, Bitcoin ruins all fun.
That's true.
I think if Bitcoin breaks out, we might see Zcash follow.
Bitcoin's trying though. I mean, if you look at the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin.
All right, now it's perfect. I'm thinking maybe today night we might see a 9K breakout.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. Very clear ascending triangle. Third time's the charm.
Buys filled, so I'm good.
I had fiat buys filled and I haven't longed the futures yet. I'm still looking for a buy-in. I had those, I exited them at 9,000 last time. This is what you're looking for. This is what I'm looking for. I'm expecting a third bounce for a triple top. And that's perfect for people that are bearish, right? So it gives them a full opportunity to short that point because the triple top is technically, it's not a good thing. But the only thing keeping that from falling further is this particular support, and it's tested at this about 3 times. But that's about it for Zcash. What else? uh, ENG.
Who
You want to
said
do
ENG?
ENG?
Who
I
said
think.
ENG?
Hang on. Somebody did.
I'm about to ban some person.
We've seen enough of ENG over the past. Yeah, it was silly American. Um, and now people are catching on. So let's look at ENG. I think it's had a breakout though.
Oh God.
No, it's not. Rising wedge. Actually, ascending triangle. Plus inverse head and shoulders, but not really. Uh, let's see. Why do you not like ENG arts?
I don't like whatever people are shilling. That means it's top. That's what I do. I go to cryptocurrency subreddit. If someone shilled this coin already, or it's been shilled a lot, I never buy it.
That's usually a sign that the bull run is ending, or is it a sign that
It's
the
usually a sign that too many people already have in it, and there's not enough momentum or money left to push it forward. You want to get into something that's like not being shilled at all, nobody knows. So when it moves really quickly and a huge margin.
well, then we should be looking at some low market cap coins, not these ones, because ENG has a decent market cap. Zcash has a decent market cap. What does not? I need some bad coins, guys.
I need
Link
some
and
shit
R.
coins.
Give me some shit coins, guys. Come on. We need something that has less than 100 mil market cap, maybe. Has good fundamentals. All right. So, rec. One letter short of destroyed.
Ooh, this looks good.
See this?
This is like Ripple. It looks perfect.
Yeah. Ripple, in fact, had a small cloud breakout on the 4 hour a few days ago. Volume is kind of dead. It's been dead for what's that now? Couple of months. Just 1 month. Not that bad. People buying at the top here was selling at the bottom somewhere pretty much the entire time.
There's no interest in this coin at all. You can tell.
It's been that way for a month.
It's more like you see that hype phase with all the volume, and then right now there's like absolutely nothing.
It broke its FOMO support, or this was the smart money period. Very clear bubble chart here, by the way. I know you all hate bubbles. Gotta say it though.
I love bubbles.
Because they burst. Because they hurt.
No, because they're like liquid and they bounce on stuff.
Leaving money open for leaving some people with low liquidity enough time to buy. And I think this is not a consolidation phase. This is a free fall phase. Does not seem like consolidation to me.
No, it's not consolidation. This is a I don't want to have the shitcoin anymore phase. So I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah, guys, I'm not seeing that falling wedge. You're referring to this one, right? No, definitely not. And I'm not buying off it. Roughly here. See, falling wedges have several characteristics, guys. First of all, the volume doesn't die off like this. The volume has a slow decrease, right? A very gradual decrease. And if you want an example of a falling wedge, I have to go back significantly in time in Bitcoin to do it. But what you want is a slow decrease, some interest at this level, Otherwise, what happened to Bitcoin will happen to REC. It will eventually fall right through this level. Um, and I suppose this is right here, where there is some local support.
See, if it reaches that red zone and starts consolidating, that's a good sign. But if it keeps falling like this, then it's gonna be like Ripple until every single person that has Ripple is gonna like buy a rope.
It's below the cloud. The cloud is acting as the whole resistance here. Oops. Uh, Cloud is flat. It had a. What is this? Is this a bullish TK cross? No. It has to
It
cross
had
from
one
below,
before and then cross right back down.
and it's crossing back again.
The thing is, if so there's two signs for the crosses. If it's underneath the cloud and it goes up, it's a weak buy signal. If it's above the cloud and it crosses up, it's a strong buy signal. And
Yep.
reverse it for shorting.
I mean, if I could short this coin, I'd be looking at this bounce, specifically targeting this region. Uh, Hey, what's Bitcoin doing right now? I don't like how it's sticking to the support right here.
That's perfect.
Perfect for what?
You gotta bait as many shorters as possible. We're breaking out today.
You heard it for the man himself. You know, Arch, you know some things that we don't.
I have insider info.
So, what's next? No, actually, the thing is, Baja or Baha, I'm not supposed, I don't know how to pronounce this. Um, the volume doesn't die off, right? It has to have a gradual slope, something like this, right? And not absolute death and then random buys here, right? And these were normies essentially buying and selling. Baya, okay, fine. Strat is something that I also have.
I used to be the biggest strat shill ever.
Used to be.
Yeah, until it lost me a shit ton of money.
Where did you lose your money? Tell us.
Um,
It's not in this chart, is it?
when was it 100K? That's some polo. Okay, you see the first bounce did after like the huge run up?
Yep. This one?
I bought in at like 150,000 satoshis and it just kept going down. I had to cut losses at some point.
Damn. You brought in here, right?
Yeah,
This level. Okay.
and then it just took too long to recover, so I cut my losses.
I keep drawing these fibs on everything. I don't recommend
Fibs
them.
Fibs are good.
They're good. Not especially on this one because it's not indicating anything at the moment. It looks like it just had a consolidation phase and it's having a run up.
It might be starting a new market cycle.
If you look at the volume there,
Yeah.
especially what was that volume spike right here? Yeah. I would buy the dips. In fact, I might just buy a little bit more. I bought in somewhere at this level.
Fundamentally, Stratus is good. It also is a staking coin. That's always a good sign.
You want to explain staking to the noobs?
You get free money for having money.
That's nice.
It's pretty much the summary.
Okay, so this looks like good support here. Um, where else is support? Bobby's also coming. I'm inviting him.
Booby Axelrod is joining us.
Yep. All right.
Draw a fib. You see this entire move up? Draw fib here. This local move. Yeah. Perfect. Very good retraces had. And it's consolidating in this area too, a little bit right now.
It already bounced. Hang on.
No, between 618 and 0.5. Like, what is this? Couple days consolidation? A week almost?
Let's look at the daily. This is again on Bittrex. It's not on Bitfinex. Sorry, it's on Binance, but you can buy it there. There's not enough data to chart, unfortunately. Yeah.
See, what you ideally want to see, you want to see the spike consolidate on the trend line that it has right now, and then do another run up. That would mean it's in a new market cycle.
There was a lot of buying below this current support. And the fact that it hasn't broken the support means a lot.
Yeah,
means
you
that
always
the-
want to come back and test it first.
But is very confident of the price going much higher. So, I mean, if you were to place a target, if your buy-in is here, and you can very, very happily buy in at this price. Your first target should be this level, which happens to be very close to a resistance too. So, how much of that is a trade? Let's see.
About 100%.
5:1 reward, 6:1 reward ratio. That's 152%. I think it looks good. I just do some cloud as well. I'm guessing it's below the cloud because of this move down.
Has to be. It has a huge run up before. Oh, it's actually a green cloud below it, but still.
This TK cross could happen inside the cloud on the daily. 4R actually looks good for a bounce upwards. Resistance,
The Kijun right now.
yeah. If you're buying in at this level, you can do two things. Either you can buy in here, and there'll be some risk in that, or you wait for a breakout from this area. And the play will look something like this. It'll eventually bounce up and then retest the cloud support. There are times when it doesn't happen, when there's enough FOMO to carry it beyond. Unless some news shows up, it may not happen. But again, unless some news shows up, it may not even go up. Does Strat follow any market cycles, or is it news reliant?
I think it's getting to a point where it's like price related more. I mean, it's fundamentally strong, so it's really good. I don't know if it's not even a billion market cap yet.
It's a good thing somebody mentioned BAT. Let's look at it. I haven't had a look at it for a while, and Bittrex is the one to chart.
Basic attention token. Yeah. The one thing that can actually be really big, but probably won't be.
I think I agree. It's had its run up. It's had its market cycle. It's had this insane dip. Just by the way, this is only second to liquidations, right? It had an 85% correction. And you should look at the ICO price.
That should not be called a correction. That should be called bloodbath.
That was a bloodbath. I bought.
That was ICO buyers selling their stacks.
However, people did buy the bottom on this one, including, well, yours truly. I bought once here when I saw this double bottom.
Below 1,000, it was a good buy.
Totally. I bought somewhere above 1,000. I think it was around 1,500. when I gave a few calls. I think it was to Janos in 1x that bought around the same time that I did. Eventually, we sold together at around this run up here, then rebought. Then I haven't sold it yet. I'm not expecting to, unless it reaches into my stop loss, which I'm fine with. It's not a very big stack. Um, Only thing to watch for is that it did break the support, right? And the next support is all the way here. It's kind of in the middle of things. All right, so what else? We have APPC. What's that? App coins. What are app coins? We should at least know what it does, right? Uh,
Something that will never work again, but good in theory.
Hey guys,
what's
this
up,
is
Bobby?
Train
Bobby,
Chat
that's
here.
all right.
Gonna help you out.
Yeah, we need you to take over, Bobby. We're really new at this.
Okay, I can share my screen if you want.
Sure, yeah. 1 second.
Bobby, can you teach me how to do things properly?
Sure, I can teach you. Let me know if you can see my screen.
I can. It just disappeared though. You just want to present to everyone.
Is it not working?
Yes. No, it's flickering in and out. Let's do this. Yeah, it's working now.
Good. Okay. So we're taking a look at APPC, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna start. I mean, there's not enough data here. This is a relatively new coin, so looking at the daily time frame uh, isn't gonna help out so much. Let's zoom in. It looks pretty shitty to me. We kind of established an accumulation zone. It could stay bottomed out at this level for a while.
You see the head and shoulders there?
Where?
Right at the starting of the pattern.
Yeah, I see a clear neckline here that's been broken and just killed the coin. This was a lot of retail players just buying the dips and trying to scalp a return. And eventually they got caught after the neckline broke and the price never recovered.
Actually, it's looking pretty good if you believe in it long term. This consolidation in this area means it's pretty close to where buys meet the sells.
Yeah, I agree. If you want to take the risk and buy here, eventually it will pierce that 4-hour cloud and make an edge-to-edge move. You just have to be comfortable with holding it if you're a believer.
This is just gonna be one of those news-based pumps.
Right. And you could see the order book here too. It's kind of stacked on the sell side, so it will take some time. But that's enough about this shit coin. Let's move on to something else. What else we got?
The app coin Reddit doesn't look too good. A lot of people crying.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody buying the bottom. What else we got? We have
Just try it real quick because I wanted to give some input on that.
Ethereum.
Stratus.
Stratus, okay.
So I do see like a reset of a market cycle. My buy entry was down here in the blue box. I'm gonna draw the fibs here to show you what I was looking at when I decided to buy. This was the start of the expensive move that sent Stratus from $1. Well, this at this point it was below $1, and at the peak it was around 10. So we just sold down traditional market sell-off and right into an accumulation period, which sees us establishing like a new low. where people want to enter the market. Whales are buying in, and it's an old enough coin to have, you know, have a newer low set on a trend over time. So if you're looking on a macro trend, this could easily be a coin that does another 3 to 10x. I'm very bullish on Stratus long term.
Isn't Stratus still working on that platform where they have their own icons and stuff like that?
Yeah, so Stratus did partner with a multi-billion-dollar company recently. They will be releasing an ICO on their platform. I think Stratus is going to get the same kind of attention Neo is, but it'll take up until like the summer for that to happen.
I mean, it has several competitors, though. It has ICX, it has EOS is one coin.
Right. So what else do we have?
Okay, we have. Hang on. We can do some ETC until we have something new.
I did ETC yesterday.
DGB.
Oh, I attached with the big shots.
Somebody called it in the chat.
We can do a meme.
EOS and we have EOS and DGB.
B is fundamentally strong based on its memes.
EOS, DGB, Tron.
Oh, yo, Bitcoin just had a cocaine candle.
The good kind of
$200
bad kind.
on BitMEX in one
Yeah,
candle.
that's a nice money candle.
My God, that's insane volume. Dude, that was a much larger buy. It was on Bitfinex. That was 500 bitcoins and then 400. So that's almost $1,000 buy-in.
It's happening. I told you guys 9K today. Gut feeling. Someone just got liquidated.
On Bitfinex, that's likely. Hang on, don't you have less than 3x leverage there?
Yeah, DGB doesn't look amazing right now. I want to see a breakout or, a pierce of the daily cloud for more continuation. The bigger picture is still bullish. I'm gonna let Hitesh take over here. Stop sharing my screen.
I attached to Bitcoin now.
Really?
Yeah, man. He just had a huge buy. Hype.
Okay, hang on.
When Big Brother moves, everything else stops moving.
I'm going to do a couple more shitcoins first. Can you see my screen? Hang on. All right. Right. So I'll just come to a couple more coins that we have. First, we have EOS on Binance. Let's see if this has a. Oh, I charted EOS recently. Let's see. It also has a
EOS?
dream pair. Yeah.
Isn't that the coin that has an ICO running for like a year? I think it is.
Yeah, it is. It's something that of a So I charted this already. I think it was on the last stream or probably in chat somewhere. So I said that I'll buy in at EOS at some point right here, and I'm going to start buying in once it breaks into this zone. The 4-hour cloud is primed for a breakout, in my opinion. There's first going to be a C clamp, then there's going to be a retest of this resistance, and then there's going to be a breakout. Nothing's changed from what I had in chart. Like, it's been there. I would look at a target of like a very conservative target of 127.2. But the thing is, you don't know whether it's going to hit, if it's going to hit. It's had steps up, right, which makes me fear elevators down a little bit. And then there's this trend line that was sort of broken. Oh, no, no, it's not. Never mind. Still there. Right here. So I would expect a retest of this trend line, 3 touches, like God said, and then a breakout to the upside. Hang on. So if we remove all of this, what else is there? On the daily chart, there's not much here. The cloud just started forming, right? So I'm not going to look too much into this. Else, we have Tron on Binance. I just heard Tron. Did they? What did they do? They had. I think they copied a white paper or something. I'm not sure. I think that's what I heard. So from a TA perspective, it doesn't look too good right now either. It's looking like accumulation. There've been some buy-ins right here, but this could be a direct consequence, a small pullback maybe from this level, right? So most likely it's just a small pullback in order for people to start selling again. It's only had a 50% move up from the previous move high. There's a small likelihood of it doing something like this. Also, well, there's obvious support at this level right here, right? So if you can try to get in at the support, that would be a good buy-in. But Tron, again, the fundamentals don't look very good right now from what I hear on Twitter at least. Oh, Bitcoin's breaking above 8,700 right now. So that falling, the rising wedge idea I had is null and void. I think 8720 is the resistance from a fill. So we'll see if it crosses that. That's Tron, and what else do we have? We have DLT. Agrello. Anybody know about this? Guys, still here?
Yeah, it looks like a dolphin.
A dolphin?
Yeah, let me show you.
Shark? Maybe?
No, it's a dolphin for sure.
I think I just lost a bet on Ethereum Classic.
Nah, you're right. It's more of a shark.
That's not a shark pattern. I thought you were a whale. Got to do better than that.
It's a legit pattern. Look at it. It works.
Well, if it starts going down, you're right. There's been some accumulation at this level, like a lot of accumulation. It looks like manipulation, just a little bit. This volume is unnatural. Or is it? Right, so I'm going to go into Bitcoin right now. Never mind. I need my charts back up.
Professor, tell us about Bitcoin, please. I'm very interested.
Don't meme me on live stream. That's plus, is your name really John, or is that something of a I'm
my
really
name
scared
is
to show my
John.
identity?
No,
Okay, your
my
name is
name
John.
is John. Yeah.
John John from John Doe.
Yeah, John
Right.
Doe.
Uh, okay, for your sake, I'll keep it white. The first thing I usually look at is the daily. There's a good and a bad. The good is that the stock RSI is not maxed out. The RSI has some way to go. There is no TD9 yet, which means that since we're already on a 6, this was definitely not a 1 to 4 candle pullback. Something else that I was watching was this candle, right? It confused me just a little bit. Shouldn't have been a 4. Should have been a candle with no indicator on, no number on it. We should put this candle a 1, which would make this candle a 9. And this candle is 7. Right? So this whole cycle is a little bit messed up. And typically TD9s don't form like this. They shouldn't. This is a very weak TD9. There was no buy volume on this TD9 either. Right? So on the daily time frame, we're still confused. On the weekly time frame, we're still bearish, obviously. And I think this comes directly from tone-based charts. There's nothing new here that you're going to see. If you see a stream, this is the same thing, right? But I'd like to add a few things, and I'll remove the TD indicator for this. All right, first things first. I've been trying to tell this for a while that a break of this key zone, right? The base conversion here, that was very dangerous. Like not having support at this level is bad. And that gives us literally no cloud support. And if you've seen any of Josh's videos on YouTube, any of his live streams, right, you've seen probably the same thing. There's literally no cloud support on the weekly chart. Daily looks a little bit hopeful with the C clamp starting to form. We're starting to have some resistance at the Tenkan. I expect a move like this right through the Kumo twist. At the same time, the C clamp should happen, right? And this Kumo twist is on the 6th of March. So you can expect some upward movement for now. The only thing is that the daily stock RSI is asking for a bit of a pullback at some point. It'll ask for a pullback in about 1, maybe 2 days. So you have to be a little bit careful there because a very obvious bearish pattern is about to form. And I'd watch out for that. I've been looking at this for a while. I've been hoping for it to not happen. I've been hoping to essentially make a new high above the previous high at this level, right? But that hasn't happened yet. Just wishful thinking, nothing else. And that keeps us from, having our heads turned and getting liquidated. We don't want that. On the 4-hour chart, things look a little bit better. We've had a TK bull cross under the cloud. So this is a weak buy right here. Then you've had a break into the cloud, which is decent because like we've already had this discussed in several charts. And also I'm going to need you to share your 6 and 12-hour charts maybe because I can't view those.
Sure.
The good is that the Kumo is slightly lower, so it's easier to break out of the cloud. And once it's broken, you could have, in somewhere in this region, a Kumo twist with a green cloud. That's a good thing, right? The bad would be to break under it. That's from the cloud perspective. That's one. Number 2.
We just pierced the 6-hour cloud, actually.
That's nice.
That lines up with the 12-hour keychain resistance.
So you see how this moving average is turning up? That's obviously because the price is broken above it. So there's a fair bit of a likelihood to see a golden cross on the 4-hour. And that's an extremely good thing. It means that a small reversal is coming. It also means that you should start buying the dip if you haven't already. And with the expectation of the moving average, the faster moving average staying above this, right? And On lower time frames, I was seeing a very clear ascending triangle. And this depends from exchange to exchange. In this case, and I'm going to have to round up a little bit here. The high was 9,000 on average across exchanges, right? And this high, there was differing. It was about $100 difference between other things. So it's the distinction between a bearish and a bullish pattern. And you can see the moving average starting to form a support at this level. That's not good because we're too close to the moving average. We've already tested and broken it twice. And the third time, it's not going to last, right? But there's some volume here. That's indicative of something. There's some selling volume here, but the low was higher, right? So what you saw was there's a bull diversion somewhere. This is what I was seeing yesterday. There was a significant bull diversion, but the price continued to go lower, which indicated something was going on, some manipulation probably pushing the price a little bit lower. That would be expected. A third test of support is ideal. So there are two possibilities, right? And each is likely as the other, and the play is just as obvious. So let's assume that we break out of the pattern, right? Where do you long? You don't long this. It's up to you. This is a fairly long pattern that's been on for about, how long is this? It's been there for about 3 weeks now. You could long the breakout, but in the case of a fake breakout, you'll be caught long in the top. You don't want that. So you would want to long a retest of the support. And eventually look for a 14% move to the upside. Right? And this would be at 10,137, roughly. So that's one. The other thing is, say if we break lower, right? So at what point would you be looking to short? And a short is safe right here. There is a possibility of a fake breakdown, but it depends on the volume. But I wouldn't short it either way. On lower time frames, I just might. Maybe on the 15-minute chart, I'll see something. A break of this support is very indicative. And right, and any breakdown at this level is not very good because it will have broken out of this particular support. Right. So if you're looking for a short, your target is very low. And I'd be looking for a new low if this support was to break down. Do you want to share a screen or do you want to share a chart?
I can probably share a screen for BTC.
Okay.
Tell me how.
All right. So there'll be a green color icon on your left toolbar.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Screen share.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So my current play on Bitcoin is breaking this daily resistance, this key Tenkin. The moment this breaks, it aligns so many different time frames. So you will have your edge to edge on 6 hour. You will have your possibility touching the Kijun on 12 hour. I believe the 4 hour breakout too, which will break this resistance and will go 8 here. I mean, at the one here. There are just so many good things. And then the pump we had recently, we did a perfect bullish retrace of 0.5. And I believe the momentum just switched. Yeah. So you had a 9, you had a 4 candle pullback for perfect retrace of 0.5, and now you're starting a new count up. It's like almost too perfect not to break out today. Maybe within 24 hours. So it'd be something like this. Like this, come back, and then like this. And that lines up with TD9 on the daily, I believe. It should. But overall, it's looking better for Bitcoin. It's not looking the same as it did here, where we broke down so fast. Personally, if you're not in a trade, you'd probably want to buy in 8.6 around there. I don't know. I think that's it. I'm pretty confident we'll break out today.
So you're looking for a long at 8600 and a probable exit at the top of the 4-hour cloud.
Well, I have my long already at 83. But if you're not in a trade, I would say 86 is about where you would want to look at.
Any idea for stop losses?
I don't use stop losses.
Always use stop losses, guys.
If you have to use a stop loss, it just depends how much you can lose, right? I mean, I put my stop loss maybe below 8K. Because at this point, like, your reward is so much if it breaks out. Like, I could see a run up to 10K fairly easily. Stop loss, you lose like 8%. And because I use hedging, I don't really need stop losses. So.
True. Plus, there's that inverse head and shoulders everybody's been talking about.
Oh, the one right here?
Yep.
This one? I mean, yeah. But again, like this 9,000 resistance, if that's broken, we can pretty much assume we're in a new market cycle for bullish BTC. Because it's just like everything stops it at that price point. If it's gone, then it's free to go. Nothing is certain, but we have pretty good news recently. I don't know, maybe green light for a new bull market. Early call.
You want to do some historical analysis on Bitcoin?
It went up forever until it got media attention and went down really quickly. I mean, you can't really apply the same logic from history to like now.
Yeah, because the things have been different over the years.
Yeah, it changes so fast that like every move, you can't really relate to other move. Like you can say that this is the same as the last bubble, the empty Gox bubble, but then again, Bitcoin was not even known back then. Like it's completely different. You cannot even come close to relating it. Just, I don't know. I think from what we've had so far, there hasn't been any like big regulations, no big news. We're still in a bullish market sentiment. But I'd like to see something like this on a bigger picture. So we break out here, we go to like here and consolidate here for maybe like 3 months. And then break out.
Any specific reason for that level?
It's a good level. It's not too low. At the same time, it's not all-time high consolidation. Just like a medium price for where Bitcoin can stabilize.
Something like last year, basically.
Yeah, like it needs, like it's almost never stopped moving on a bigger picture. Like it's always moving. There's no consolidation at all. Where like last time we had one was no, like back here. What is this? August 2016 to November. Like something like this. We just need the consolidations to like educate people about Bitcoin, you know?
That's true. We
Because
desperately need that.
if it keeps going up and people will just keep buying because of the price, and that's usually a bad thing. You want to buy for fundamentals. You know, the 100K Bitcoin dream is real if we teach people about it properly. And then end of the day, this is just gonna be a one on the L8 wave. So yeah, today I am bullish on Bitcoin for the first time.
Looks good, man. Right. So do you think we should stop here? You got like, if there's anything left to do?
Oh, maybe if people have questions.
Sure. Yeah. So there's one question from John Berry. BTC 4-hour chart. Does the cloud attract the price? You want me to share?
Does the cloud affect the price?
Attract the price. I'm sharing mine.
Okay. Well,
It depends.
If you trade the cloud, typically cloud is a no trade zone.
Correct.
But in my opinion, in crypto, price usually tends to, if it enters the cloud, it touches our cloud almost like 100% of the time.
We're going to have to take an older example.
Because the swings are so big in crypto, the cloud play is like a lot of money lost if you never touch it. Because edge to edge on the cloud is maybe like a 10% gain, which is quite a lot.
The last time the price bounced within the cloud was on the 22nd of August 2017. It's not had that since on the 4-hour cloud. There's been end-to-end plays everywhere, right? Every single time. So this was a sort of a breach here, a very small one. Bounced right off, end-to-end play. And this was on a green cloud, so the cloud barely was red anytime, right? And then this mega pump. I'm gonna remove the, okay, hang on. Oops, sorry. All right, so this was an end-to-end play on the 4-hour cloud. End-to-end again through a red cloud. Not very well synced there, by the way. And end-to-end here, end-to-end here, end-to-end last time it was here. And ever since that level, we haven't entered the cloud until now. Right? So the cloud entry right here, right? It gave me some sign of there was some bullish momentum left to take the price a little bit higher. And that if we were to get rejected, it would be somewhere at the periphery of the cloud and not within the cloud. But for now, the price is sideways until it breaks out. And if at all it does break out, I'll be buying the bottom or the dip, wherever that is. So yeah, the price does attract the cloud. Are we still on track for 8,000? I'm sorry, but no. So far, it doesn't look like it on lower time frames. I know I called 7,900 last night. That was for a reason, because I was not expecting this. Right, that was completely unexpected, and the momentum here looked sharp enough to take us a little bit lower. Right, again, I was long. I did not obviously short the bounce. I shorted somewhere here once, and it was essentially a scalp at this level. I was not expecting some support, but it didn't find support eventually. Right, so however, and as bullish as we are, we need to consider the other side of the trade, right? So Yeah, if it breaks below this level, you'd be looking at a short, eventually short the bounces until it goes lower. And on the early time frame, the cloud doesn't look too great, and that's partially because we haven't had a huge bull run like this one, right? So we need to either expand the cloud by having a breakout, or we have a comatose and we go lower, and that comatose isn't very far away if we stay in this range. I think I'll give it like 8 or 9 more hours on the early time frame. And well, the 4 hour cloud is already bearish. So we'll see where this goes. We'll probably come back to this tomorrow, day after. Right?
As long
Is
as we
this a
keep
bubble?
entering the clouds, we're good.
Yeah. Because we haven't had a cloud entry for a very long time.
Yeah. It's always good when you enter clouds.
True. Plus, we're finding support at the moving averages across time frames. I think on the 2 hour there was some support. Yeah. Mio Cake is asking, is this a bubble?
Everything is a bubble. It has to be.
Crypto is a bubble.
Yes.
It is a bubble.
Everything is a bubble. That's how money gets transferred, right?
True.
You keep buying until no one else wants it when you sell it.
Everyone wants to sell then.
You know, our freaking world population is a bubble. Eventually, we won't have enough supply to support it, and then we're gonna have to start dying off.
Arth, are you wearing a tinfoil hat right now, or
No, I'm just
Okay.
very bearish on the world economy.
right? Which I mean, since we're on the topic, um, is the Tide Pod challenge a bubble? So are we just memeing right now? And why isn't
It's
DJ
a
alone?
valid question.
I'm not gonna answer it. I'll leave it to you.
Only the strongest will survive the challenge.
Yeah, DJ is not loading for some reason. That's interesting. Yeah, my charts are. I think my charts just quit because of my terrible technical analysis. So I think we'll call it a stop here for now. And we'll come back to this again. If you want this to be a regular thing, maybe a weekly thing or a bi-weekly thing, let us know, and we'll come back to this. For now, that's about it for me. Arts,
That's it for me. Thank you, Professor Haitash.
Roger, Raj,
It's been an honor. It's been an honor with trading with you.
Take care, bro.